After an 0-4 start, the Texans parted ways with Bill O'Brien yesterday, and he's the most successful coach in team history. Took them to the playoffs in 4 of the last 5 years. And I started to wonder about this with Bill O'Brien. You know, coaches want control. They're all control freaks, and I understand that, but you should be a coach. It's hard to be a coach and a GM. Now, some have been able to do it. Bill Belichick is able to do it, but Bill O'Brien is not Bill Belichick. And if he was just hired on his coaching abilities, would he still have that job considering what he's done over the last 5 years? The playoffs for the last 5 years. We can talk about the AFC South being watered down. He still has won those divisions. Bill O'Brien was fired despite leading them to 4 divisional titles in the last 5 years. Then you start to look at this since 2015. Who has won the most divisional titles by a head coach? Bill Belichick, 5. Bill O'Brien and Andy Reid, 4. Sean Payton with 3. That's pretty good company there for Bill O'Brien. It's Bill O'Brien, the GM. That's the problem. Because he took over the job as GM in 2019. This past offseason, he traded wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals. You got running back David Johnson and a second-round pick. Hopkins leads the NFL in catches. Texans have struggled to move the ball. He's had other moves that didn't work out. Gave up the future for Laramie Tunsil. Do you rebuild now for a team that's 0-4? Very difficult schedule, first 4 games. But firing Bill O'Brien is a recognition from ownership that it's tried something, they have to try something new here because they were not going to get as far as they thought they were going to get. And they finally got a quarterback there in Deshaun Watson. And I've always implored them to get an offensive line so he doesn't end up like Andrew Luck. You traded away DeAndre Hopkins. We knew that DeAndre Hopkins did not want to stay in Houston, did not get along with Bill O'Brien, and that he wanted to be the highest paid wide receiver. But I got to get a little bit more for DeAndre Hopkins because I need draft picks, and you've given up your draft picks. You brought in Laramie Tunsil, which you gave up a lot to bring in Laramie Tunsil. You got to protect Deshaun Watson. I understand that. But if I'm giving up DeAndre Hopkins, who is one of the top 3 wide receivers, I would hope I could get a wide receiver in return or a number 1 pick that maybe I could use on a wide receiver somewhere down the line. But Bill O'Brien, you can argue, was a good coach. There's no argument about him being a GM, I think, because he made some moves that are going to really impact this team the next couple of years. And Romeo Crennel takes over. I don't know who comes in and takes over this job. By the way, I asked Peter King this question. Could you just hire Eric Bieniemy from the Kansas City Chiefs, the offensive coordinator, and say, you're the next head coach of the Texans? Well, there is the anti-tampering policy. And if you're under contract during the season, you're not able to negotiate with somebody. You can't give that job to Eric Bieniemy right now if you wanted to. The Jets couldn't do that if they were going to fire Adam Gase. I wonder about what the Falcons are going to do because Arthur Blank, from what I'm told, did not want to be the first owner to fire a coach this season. Well, he doesn't have to worry about that now with Bill O'Brien fired and Dan Quinn losing last night to the Green Bay Packers, and we knew that was going to happen. I mean, Dan Quinn knows it's not if, but when, and they'll probably extend it a little bit further because unless you have somebody that you can put in there and go, this is going to help us, this is an upgrade. Unless the players stop playing for this coach, and I don't get that feeling in Atlanta, but from what I was told, Arthur Blank did not want to be that first owner to go, I'm going to fire my coach because of the sensitivity of COVID and dealing with all these obstacles, these hurdles here. But, after a month, this is business now. And Dan Quinn may not last the rest of the season, and nobody's going to be surprised there. But there will be quite a few openings. And Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator with the Chiefs, is going to probably have his pick.